My name is Ciora Thomas. I'm a trans woman, and my preferred pronoun is she. I was around 8 years old. Yeah, it was a time, I guess, where I'm starting to feel my femininity arise. And it was a time that was a time that I was afraid. So yeah, I found my bit of oasis in my mom's closet, being able to put on the clothing and exhale. Just to, I will never forget this day. So I got suspended from school for I was being called a faggot and being called names in school. So I did what I had to do to defend myself. Long story short, I was home. At this point, I'm starting to test my boundaries. I'm starting to feel how I feel outside, like this. And the only place I would go was the porch. And this day happened to be like one of the hottest days in Pittsburgh. And I had these little shorts on and this little shirt. So I'm on the porch and I'm just listening to music, just totally drowned out, just like feeling myself, like I feel so good and I feel like alive right now. And my stepdad, he came up the steps and he just stopped. He didn't say anything. He just looked at me. He just looked at me for like a second that seemed like an hour. When he came in, I'm running through the house, ripping everything off, like, oh my, freaking out. So I'm sitting on the porch. I sat on the porch for at least 4 or 5 hours waiting for my mom to pull up from work. I wanted to be the first one to tell her. And at this time, I didn't know what trans was. I didn't know the term. I didn't know the definition. I didn't know anything, but I knew gay. And I knew gay in a negative light. And I'm like, Mom, I think I'm gay. She's like, I knew. She's like, I knew. And she said it so nonchalantly. That scared me too. I never remember in my young life my mom drinking. My mom came home drunk. I could smell it on her. And then she went in her room and her and my stepfather began to argue about me. And I remember being called a faggot by my own mom. And how destroying that was for me. I started like experimenting with running away. I was in downtown Pittsburgh. Liberty was a transgender stroll right in front of the bars. I remember me first getting downtown being like, whoa, like there are women down here like me. I started down that road of sex work and I could not turn around. I could not break from it. It was real and I was a kid. I didn't really have a child, like a normal happy childhood, like where everyone gets to like go to school, finish high school, go to college, have your parties, go to prom. I didn't get to do any of that. My childhood consisted of surviving. And I went back down to Wood Street Station and I went downstairs in the subway and I went to sleep. And then I woke up to the police. He was poking me with a stick and it hurt. And they took me in that back room back there. And it was like some Law and Order stuff. And the one cop grabs my hair and like slams it on the table. And he said, you can't sleep down here. And I said, I don't have anywhere to go. And they started asking about my mom. Where's my parents? So I told him and gave him my mom's information. And they called my mom. And my mom came and got me. She was pissed off because she had to call off work. Sorry, I'll take a moment. I am born and raised in Pittsburgh. Grew up on these very streets. Although a homeless transgender woman. And through my turmoil came a success to be able to give back to my trans community. And that's what I do every single day. I have had the honor to be a part of our LGBTQIA advisory council in the mayor's office. And what I want to say, now that we are reassembled and that we are a team again and we have our council back, our city will continue to be a city that is safe for LGBTQIA plus people.
My name is Jude Benedict. I am a trans-masculine identified individual, and I use the pronouns they, them. I also accept masculine pronouns, so he, him, his. Whenever you're in first grade, it was around that age that I realized that I looked different from the other kids, the other girls. I mean, pretty much the way that I kind of operated myself, as a first grader, I just kind of I did what I wanted. I just wore what I wanted to wear. And then, as I got a little bit older, and I wasn't, like a 4-year-old anymore, it wasn't always so acceptable. I started getting some negative reactions to that, and I realized that, okay, all right, I'm seeing these negative reactions. I'm different. I'm doing something wrong. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing to my parents. I'm embarrassing my mom, and something's wrong with me. The way that my identity that I was repressing was kind of sitting with me was masked as just really, really heavy amounts of self-hatred. My weight, this, that, and I mean, it was painful. I would literally make myself stand certain ways constantly. I would make myself stand certain ways, pop my hip because I don't look feminine enough. Every time I looked in the mirror, I felt wrong, but it wasn't as if I was like, oh, I would rather be wearing this clothes. I would rather have this identity. It was just still that I'm not right. I'm not good enough. I'm wrong, and I'm an embarrassment, and I'm not right. Why am I not right? Remember, I'm just me becoming me. I'm just being me. That's all of this, I get it that it's like, oh, it's different. It's different. There is no, you do this, then you do that, then you do this. Trans people do that, and that, and then they're this. Oh, you became this. There's an end goal. No. I get it. That's cool. That's cool. It's, I appreciate it when people are just, they're trying to understand. But I challenge individuals to think of it just going back to that. Literally, it's a journey. It's just a part of life that it's an extra step that's very extra few steps that really kind of seasons you as a person. But really, I'm not that different. I'm really not that different from I'm not different from any human. It just so happens that my story involves this. From my transition, I started to feel more inner peace after testosterone had, started to change my features. And my fat, like I said, with my face has changed. I'm now aging. Now I'm just aging. And I would just like to say, starting testosterone, you go through menopause and then puberty. Think about that one for a second. Menopause, then puberty. It was kind of a breaking point that I had. I'd mentioned before, that I was just struggling so much with so much depression and just a lot. And after I survived a suicide attempt, and the next day, I woke up and I was like, well, okay, I'm still here. Fuck it. I went and I bought the guitar. And after that, this instrument, like, we just have I have a very, like, deep connection to this instrument. I'm able to focus my thoughts and my feelings through both the words, but also the sounds and the delivery of what I'm saying, how I'm doing the stuff, how I'm playing, what parts I'm putting emphasis on. And that music, to me, that is kind of like my creative outlet, because I believe that each of us has some form of a creative outlet, and that's a lot of times if you can tap into that, that's one of the most beautiful things about being human, is our ability to create.
Anyone out there who is trans, never ever give up. Never allow someone to tell you that you're not able to accomplish with what a cisgender person can do. We are able to accomplish that and more. I want you to know, from a person who has had nothing, who came from nothing and still is struggling to obtain something, that we have a voice. We have strength and we have stronger minds than the average. Use it. Find value within yourself. If you can't find that value, hold on to your sister or your brother and let us obtain this value together.
You can do it. I would say you deserve peace. And I would say it changes because you're worth it. You're worth it.